Welcome to part 2 of my notes on powers of 10. So I am on the top of page 8. So we're going to continue where we left off yesterday. So it says examine the following powers of 10. So you see 10 to the third power equals 10 times 10 times 10. Notice there's 3 tens, and it equals 1,000. Now notice 10 to the negative third. I have 1 over 10 to the third, so it flips it. So negative exponent means it flips it into a fraction. And we have 1/10 times 1/10 times 1/10, which equals 1,000th. And it equals 1,000th as a decimal. So my question is, do positive exponents make powers of 10 get larger or smaller? Explain your answer. So hopefully you were thinking larger. And let's write as the exponent increases, you keep adding a factor of 10 to multiply. So positive exponents makes the powers of 10 get larger. As the exponent increases, you keep adding a factor of 10 to multiply. So on the flip side, what happens with negative exponents? Hopefully you're thinking smaller. Oops, and I forgot a period here. So let's go down to the negative exponents and write smaller. As the exponent gets smaller, you keep adding a factor of 1/10 to multiply. Okay, when working with powers of 10, begin with the number 1. So if we want to convert it to a number or evaluate it, we want to start with the number 1. A positive exponent tells you how many times to move the decimal point to the right. So for 10 squared, we start with the number 1. Okay? Remember, in the number 1, there's an imaginary decimal at the end of the number. We don't say 1 decimal, but we know it's there. So we're going to move it 1, 2 places, and every time we move and there's nothing there, we drop a 0. So 10 squared would be 100. Now a negative exponent tells you how many times to move the decimal point to the left. So let's go back up here and underline positive exponent and box in right, and then underline negative exponent, box in left. Okay, so now we start with the number 1. Remember, the decimal's after the 1 right here, and we go 1, 2 to the left, and we drop the decimal in, and we drop in a 0. So we would write 0.01. And remember, we can also add the placeholder right here if we wanted to as well. Okay, so let's practice some of these. So it says, write out the standard form of each number by practicing moving the decimal. So 10 to the 4th. What number do we start with? Good. We start with a 1. Where's the decimal? Right here. So we're going to move it 4 places. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to drop in 4 zeros. And so this number is 10,000, but we don't say 10,000 decimal. We can just write 10,000. Okay, and I like to circle my answer here. Okay, the next one, 10 to the 5th. So what number do we always start with? 1. Where's the decimal? Right here. And we're going to move it 5 places to the right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I move to the right because it's positive. So drop in your zeros. Okay, this is 100,000. We don't say 100,000 decimal, so I don't put the decimal at the end. Okay, now this one says 10 to the negative 5th. So we start with the number 1. I'm going to start right here so I have room to go left. Where's the decimal? Right here. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now remember, it's 5 places here, not 5 zeros, because it took 1 place to get around the 1. So I actually only have 4 zeros here. Now I always rewrite it, and that's important to note. Notice I never wrote my final answer with the little waves in it. I always rewrite it. So we're going to put in the placeholder, then I'm going to put the decimal, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros, and a 1. So this would be read as 100,000. Okay, and the last one here, start with the number 1. Where's the decimal? Right here. And we're going to move 4 places to the left because it's negative. 1, 2, 3, 4. Drop your zeros. Notice it took me 1 place to get around the 1, and then there's 3 zeros here. So we have 0.0001. Now something to notice here. With the negative exponents, we have negative 5, 5 places after the decimal. Negative 4, 4 places after the decimal. But when it was positive, I have 4 zeros, and when it's positive 5, I have 5 zeros. So notice the difference. When it's positive, we see the zeros match the exponent. When it's negative, it's the amount of numbers after the decimal that matches the exponent. Okay, turn to the last page. It says convert the standard form to exponent form. Okay, so what we have to do here is figure out how many places we moved. So what number do we always start with? We always start with a 1. So we could start here, and let's count how many places it takes till we get to the decimal. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to draw an arrow saying that I moved to the decimal, and we went 3 to the left. So should my exponent be negative or positive? Good, it should be negative. And because I went 3 places, it's 10 to the negative 3rd. Okay, the next one, find where it would be 1, so right here. This would be 1 whole right here. And now we need to figure out how many places we went. So 1, 2, till we get to the end of the number. What direction did we go? To the right, so we went 2 to the right. So should we be positive or negative? Good. We should have positive, so 10 squared. Okay, what number do we always start with? 1 whole, so we're going to start right here. And we're going to go till we get to the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We went 6 to the left. So what should my exponent be here? Good, it should be negative. So negative 6, 10 to the negative 6. And the last one, what number should we always start with? 1, so we're going to put our pencil here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we went 5 to the right, so what exponent should it be? Good, positive 5, so 10 to the positive 5th. Okay, let's look at the next one, which says, which of the following could go in the blank? So once again, to translate what this means, 1 is greater than blank, blank is greater than 0. That means which of these is in between 0 and 1? So think back to yesterday when we filled out those charts. So 10 to the first? No, because 10 to the first is 10. 10 is not between 0 and 1. 100th? Absolutely, between 0 and 1. 1 over 10 to the third? Yes, because remember, if I have a negative exponent and I flip it, the negative exponent disappears, so 1 over 10 to the third. So yes, this would be, because this was originally 10 to the negative third. Negative powers of 10 are always between 0 and 1. Okay, 10, nope. 10 to the negative second, yes, we just said powers of 10 that have a negative exponent are always between 0 and 1, and negative 10, no. So once again, here's a reminder, negative exponents never create negative numbers. So let me say it one more time, negative exponents never create negative numbers. And it says, where do negative exponents live on the number line? Shade the area. So we just said they lie between what two numbers? Good, 0 and 1. So we are going to shade in this section right here. So let's just color in this section. So remember, negative exponents never create negative numbers. And remember that negative exponents turns it upside down. So for example, 10 to the negative second would turn into 1 over 10 to the second. And when it turns upside down, it loses its negative exponent. Okay, that concludes our notes on powers of 10. I hope you have a great day.